A patch of the North Atlantic is cooling while the planet warms, and deep ocean readings now point to the Atlantic current itself slowing down. So here's our question. Is that cold patch just surface weather, or a real sign that the AMOC, the Atlantic's heat conveyor, is weakening? By the end, you'll know why scientists say deep water data tips the scales toward the current, not the weather. First, the players. The AMOC is a vast loop. Warm water heads north near the surface, colder water returns south at depth. And that loop slows, less heat rides north, and that region can look cooler than its neighbors, even as the globe warms overall. Skeptics asked a fair question. Could winds and weather just be chilling the surface temporarily? The new study went below the waves, where day-to-day weather has trouble leaving a lasting mark. Deep water properties change slowly, so they act like a long exposure photo of the ocean's circulation. According to the headline result, those deep measurements show a circulation signal that matches a weakening AMOC. And that means the cold blob is unlikely to be just an atmospheric fluke riding on the surface. Why does that matter? Because the AMOC is a big climate lever, slow to move, but powerful when it does. The study's framing is about risk direction. Evidence pointing toward a slowdown nudges us closer to a tipping point concern. A tipping point is a threshold where a small extra push can flip a system into a harder-to-reverse state. Be clear, this isn't a date-stamped prediction of collapse, just stronger evidence that the conveyor is running slower. And a slower AMOC can shape seasons, storm tracks, and marine life around the North Atlantic over time. Here's the twist. Deep data makes it harder to wave this away as just variability, because the signal reaches below the skin of the sea. But we need honesty about limits. It's one study, and deep ocean records are sparse and hard-won. Direction can be clearer than timing. The study signals where we're headed, not when we'll get there. Also, association isn't destiny. Multiple lines of evidence and replication will matter. A quick myth check. A cool patch doesn't disprove global warming. It's like standing near a draft in an otherwise warm house. What should we watch next? Continued deep measurements and whether the cold blob persists, alongside the deep signal. Think of it as checking the building's foundations, not just the lobby. Deep layers tell us if the structure is truly shifting. So, is the cold blob just weather? The new deep ocean evidence says it's more likely a sign of a weakening AMOC. Takeaway. The direction is clear, toward a tipping point risk, while the timeline remains uncertain. For viewers, that means paying attention to the right signals and supporting careful monitoring. Not panic, but persistence. Answer. The North Atlantic cold blob is best explained by a weakening AMOC, not a passing weather fluke, because the signal shows up in deep ocean data. The practical takeaway is to expect gradual pattern shifts and to watch long-term indicators, not movie plot flips. Clear direction, uncertain timing, and that's exactly why continued measurement matters.